And we are live. 2 videos in 2 days. Feast and then famine. That's kind of how we work on this channel. Do you know what? It's been nice to actually talk to people and talk about football with other fans. So good to be back. Got Ant here. We're going to be talking about, well, we're going to go in the press conference, but there's more breaking news, isn't there, Ant? Well, not breaking news, but some good sources at the moment. Good news.
Good news. Sounds like Top Gear, Jeremy Clarkson. Brendan Rodgers apparently could be going on his way to Tottenham. It's just rumours at this stage, but anything to fuel a bit of positivity.
Yeah. And I think there's some decent enough. I think you tweeted it out, so I'll put it up on screen at the moment. Transfer News Live, which is I'd say a good source, mid to good source.
I'd say Transfer News Live, you can't really take too much because they just take other people's information and put them out on their own page. Because it comes from TalkSport, and TalkSport, as much as they're mocked for being a radio station, they do get things right. So I would say they're hit and miss. They'll get some things right, they'll get some things wrong, but
they make Barstool Sports look credible.
Exactly.
But so you were saying, so overall, again, it's just it's really good that that's the case. Ethan's in the comments. Shout out to you, Ethan. Please. But do you know what it is? I was saying to Tottenham fans, I was saying, please, literally, I was in some group chats going, please take him. But my thing is, he will work well if he's only there for 2 years.
We know what he is. He's a good shelf life manager. He'll go to Tottenham, give them a lift, and then that's probably all they need at the moment.
Drop him off a cliff.
Yeah. And to be honest, I'm not asked what he does elsewhere. I'm really not. I just know he's run his race at Leicester, and he'd finished his race about 18 months ago. Now he's just sort of like hopping along, just trying to get over a finish line, but seems like it's ridiculously shorter than it should have been in the first place.
Yeah, there was a meme of when I don't know if you've seen it, they take a cat for a walk and the cat just doesn't want to walk, and it's just top is just, it's almost like the cat's just dragging him along the ground. It's pretty much the epitome of Top going, you can do this, and Brendan Rodgers is just kind of like sprawled out, moving away like this. But yeah, there's not a lot to be positive. But again, I think it is one that might happen. Maybe not now. It will happen probably in the summer if it does happen.
Potentially, but like, there's a part of me that thinks, why wait? If you're Tottenham, why wait? Get him in for these last 8 games of the season. See who he likes, see who he doesn't like, and let them build in the summer. And then from a Leicester point of view, get the new man in, give him a few games towards the end of the season, and then see where he goes. Same as what I've said for Rodgers at Spurs. See who he likes, see who he doesn't like, see who he can sort of build for the future for, see who he's not a fan of. If it's going to wait till the summer, I don't really think that helps either team, if I'm honest, and particularly doesn't help us because his motivation hasn't been there all season, but it would drop off a cliff even more if he knows no matter what happens with Leicester, he's going in the summer.
Yeah, and we were. The difference is that money for us would be that fact that they pay the difference between it being like 20 million we're losing and 20 million we're getting, 40 mil difference. We could get again Alex Scott and Enzo to fee him for that price.
The thing is,
foreshadowing, hopefully.
The thing is, I wouldn't be surprised if he does go, if it's by mutual consent instead of them buying him out the contract instead of sort of him being sacked. Mutual consent, I think, would be the most realistic if he was going to move on. But it's still 20 million, but we don't have to spend.
Yeah, it's still a good amount of money. Again, Enzo Lafille was asked for about half that, and I think it's come out recently. Not that we are still interested, but also we asked for him last year as well. I think that's come out recently as from a credible source. I can't remember who it was. If you remember.
It was Graham Bailey from 90 Mins. Little shout out on this. I've got a video coming out on this on my channel tomorrow. Cheeky little.
Oh, nice. Even better. Again, Ant's channel in the description as per usual. Gray's in the chat again. Evening, Gray. Hopefully you're good. Thanks for all your comments and everything. We really appreciate it. Rodgers can go to Spurs. He has to relegate us first. I know, but do you know what? There's a couple of things I was speaking to again. I've done a Villa preview that's coming out on Sunday as well, and a lot of fans have said, we haven't realised how far down the league you were. People are genuinely surprised. People thought we were like mid-table with Villa. Genuinely, people have not paid attention to we are 1 point off the relegation. They know about Moyes, but Rodgers has not been mentioned.
The thing is, Rodgers is the master of spinning anything into a positive and making it sound as if that we might as well become a meme channel at this point. We're talking about memes that much, but the meme where the house is burning down and there's just the guy sitting at the table. Yeah, it just feels like that's what Brendan Rodgers is with everything going on. So I think that calm persona sort of is almost, to quote a phrase, he has buried his head in the sand of what's sort of going on at the moment, and it's like. You hear his press conferences, and it's like you don't seem to realise sort of where and what position we're in. Having said that, the first time I've sort of thought he's actually really being honest about it was today's press conference, because I thought we're going to get onto it in a little bit, but I thought today's press conference was one of the better ones he's done in the last 6 to 8 months.
There wasn't really a lot that was said. I was going to go into detail, but there wasn't really a lot that was like not even controversial. Just it was quite mundane.
I'll agree. There wasn't a lot said, which is probably why it was one of his best press conferences for about 8 months.
It's like, that was one of your best strikes in bowling. I got 1 pin. You normally get 0. Well done. Normally it's gutter ball all the way. Analogies, show of analogies today, isn't it? Let's get into some of the comments Ethan's got. Again, I'd be fuming if I was a Spurs fan. They got Brenda. I guess so, but I think they know it's time for a close because Mourinho was that guy. Then Conte was that guy trying to get him a trophy. They've got to go back to the drawing board and rip it up because it's not. I don't think he's going to win a trophy with them, but it's got to be. At least it's better than who I thought they were going to get.
The thing is, with Rodgers, and people will say you can see it now already, and I'm not even bothered because, as I say, I'm not bothered about what he does once he leaves Leicester. But you can see it now, him coming in, doing very well for a first year or 18 months. Oh, look, can't believe Leicester fans wanted him out, and like, careful what you wish for, etc.
We're just looking at our watch, going, yeah, give it time.
Yeah, and it's like you can almost see what's going to happen already, but it's just like he has run his race at Leicester. And I think something that's very interesting to say about this is look at all of our players on international duty. All of them have performed well. All of them.
I think apart from Christensen, because I think he had a couple of
pulled out of the Danish squad because of injury.
No, but he played against Kazakhstan when they lost 3-2, didn't he? He came on at 83rd minute.
Oh, to be fair, 83rd minute, you can't really.
That's when they let in the goals. I'm not saying he had an amazing, but I'm with you. I looked at the performances from Daka, from Mendy, from Suto. We'll get onto in a bit. Christensen. Who else that I can remember?
Danny Ward. Best games for Wales in the international break. Wout Faes was brilliant for Belgium, a player who's got shot of confidence. Castagne apparently was very, very solid for them. It's like we are the problem. Like every single one of our players has gone away and had a very good international duty. Maddison got in the England squad and was brilliant in the game that he played against.
Did you watch it?
Yeah. I mean, it's 90 minutes of my life I'm never going to get back, but I did watch it, yes.
I mean, you've been watching Leicester this season, so it's got to be better than that.
I don't know. At least with Leicester, I've got some sort of emotional attachment. I only watched it because Maddison was playing.
Yeah, fair enough. I forgot he was on. I'm not going to lie. And then, people go, he's going quite well. And I looked at BBC scores and I think he was like the 4th highest. So I went, that'll do. Take that. But again, it's just our luck that he's going to probably leave in the summer and he starts playing for England. Everybody's going, oh, well, what a good player. And it's just like, here we go again. And he'll probably be in the England squad from here on out, regardless of the next team he goes to. But at least he's got it for us. And another player that we've said has got an England cap at Leicester. So it can only look better for our CV if we're trying to attract young talent.
For sure. And good luck to him. He's been nothing but brilliant since he's been at Leicester. I want him to stay at Leicester. I'll be honest about it. But if he does move on, I hope he gets the best move he can.
Yeah, I'm with you. And the thing is, he's always been respectful, always really worked hard and has dragged the team going forward. So he's been phenomenal, really. Jeff's in the chat again. Shout out to Jeff again. Make sure you go and support Fox to Fox Report. Again, got some great little shorts and stuff available on his channel and some long form content and some streams to make sure you go and follow there. Time for the final stretch. It is, mate. I think it's 11 games to go now. And this month, and we'll get to the fixtures, it's coming thick and fast now. This month is really important. It's always been really important, but it's really important to get it right. But I feel like I'm beating a dead horse saying the same thing again and again.
It feels like we say this every time after an international break, doesn't it, mate? But
Yep.
I've previewed I've titled my preview. This is our biggest week of the season because we've got Palace, then Villa, and then who have we got next?
Bournemouth.
So we've got 3 games that we need to win at least 2 of them, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I think I'm with you. I think they would be really, again, they're definitely one of them. Then also this is the run-in as well. Wolves, Leeds, and then Everton, and then Fulham again. But that's another run. But we need to get through the first one first. You're saying that this week is really important to get right. And if we don't, again, we're in trouble. But I've kind of become numb to it almost because it's kind of like the inevitable's happening. All it just takes is for us to go on it. I think 3 wins keeps us safe.
It does. And you know what's worrying? Maybe not last year, but the year before, I look at all 3 of those games and say, yeah, we'll win. Or maybe not we'll win all 3. Or I'm confident we will go into each game and if we don't win it, we won't lose it. Now, I'm looking at it saying if we don't lose it, I still don't see us winning them. I see us maybe dragging a point here or there. And that's not me being intentionally negative. We've got 1 point from 18.
And we've dropped 19 points this season. So again, we've more than anybody by like 5 points. Is it more now?
I was going to say, is that from winning positions?
Yeah.
It's not a good start at all, is it?
No.
Really.
So even you go ahead, you're like, right, we're going to potentially drop one, not just drop 1 or 2 points, dropping all 3 at times. It's been outrageous. What I was going to say as well, we do, mate, but we need something to give us belief. I'll speak to the Villa fan recently, which again coming out on Friday, on Sunday, where he goes, it was an even game, and I said to him, it was an even game, and we both played well. We just took our chances better. And the crowd, I think you were at the ground, weren't you, for the Villa away? And you said it was absolutely rocking. It's the loudest we've heard it in ages.
What, the away end?
Yeah.
It was the best away end for a while, yeah, for sure. I think the fact, though, there's a few elements to it, not just because of the fact we're winning, because even before the game, there was a lot of excitement because it was Christensen's first Premier League start. It was Suter's first Premier League start. Tete as well. Like the amount of Brazilian flags in that away end. And even when we went behind, there was still a lot of belief in the team, and the team just didn't give up. But it's like we don't ask for a lot. We just ask for a team that tries and plays sort of to their best. I don't think months.
Yeah, and the thing is, we're not even asking the most. We just try and see, and that's there, and that's what we've lacked for so long. And hopefully, 2 of them will be coming back in. 2 people are on international duty, as you mentioned. Suter is back, and my only thing is, again, he came back. Christian has been out with ankle injury, and Suter again returned from international duty early for picking up a knock. Both of them hopefully should be good for the weekend. However, both of them, again, that's what we need, Ethan. And these it sums it up quite nicely. Fight, desire, resilience, and I think these 2 kind of exemplify that probably the most out of the majority of the squad. I
agree as well. Fight, desire, and resilience, and you also need a bit of quality to go on top of that as well. But Harry Suter and Victor Christensen exactly personify that, and I think there's too many players that I think have got away with being very poor this season because so many of the fans are so sort of frustrated with Rodgers, and rightly so. So the criticism never finds its way to the players. It's always Rodgers this, Rodgers that, and rightly so. But there's also a lot of players this season, I think, that need to take a look at themselves.
I think you're right. And they've turned up for little bits, but they've not turned up for nearly enough for us to try and win games. And it's going to be a very complex summer. I think it's going to be a very we've been the summer that we've wanted for ages. And I think every fan's like, we we need a refresh. And I understand that, but I think it's reached a definite end of a life cycle. And one player that has as well, Yuri Tillemans, again, looks like he's going to be out for a bit longer. Basically, I think he's out pretty much for the rest of the season. If he won't play a majority of the part anyway. Another setback for him in terms of injuries. Do you think we've seen Tillemans' last game for us?
I hope not, because it'd be such a shame of a way to end what's been a brilliant, he's been a brilliant player for us. What I would say is, and this is the skeptical side of me, if he had had this little setback 18 months ago, do you reckon he would have been back ready, available for Leicester now? Or do you reckon he's preserving himself for the summer? Because if he gets injured now, no club is going to have really... Well, I say no club, but it's a lot less likely he's going to get the move he wants in the summer.
Especially with our injury record.
Yeah, even so, but our injury record's horrendous. We could talk about that for days. But in terms of Yuri Tillemans, if you take any player, if your contract is running down, you don't want to be at the club you're at the moment. And as much as he's been a professional for us and as brilliant as he's been, you're not going to put yourself in harm's way and potentially jeopardize a move when you're not feeling 100%. You're not going to rush yourself back if you're not 110%. And I don't think and I could be talking completely out of turn here. I just feel like 18 months ago he would have been back on the pitch wanting to prove something, but now he's just sort of ticking down the days to the summer to get his move. And as I say, he's been the ultimate respectful professional, but at the same time, he's got to look after himself. And what's in the best interest of Yuri Tillemans is not to get a long-term injury or potentially make what is a poor knock a lot worse.
Yeah, and for the sake of trying to keep a team up that's in relegation that you've essentially potentially go down with, I think he will want to fight and he will want to play. But I understand. Yeah, I'm with you. I don't think you understand. If he is going to play, it's going to be a very last part of the season and only a cameo performance rather than like a full 90, which we pretty much need.
Yeah, because without Yuri Tillemans in midfield, we've got absolutely no progression from deep. And I think what it wouldn't surprise me with Tillemans is, say if we're up on that last game of the season against West Ham, if we're already safe, if we see a little cameo from him.
As a good final goodbye.
I'm not comparing him to Danny Simpson and Shinji Okazaki, but because when they both did it, their best days were definitely behind them. But do you remember that last game of the season a few years ago where Okazaki and Simpson came off the bench just as a goodbye? If that was at any other point of Chelsea, yeah. The most lackluster, boring 0-0 draw, if I remember correctly.
I can top that. One game that just because it's in my memory from recent, Villa last year 0-0 at home.
I've never been so happy my car broke down. Do you remember that?
Don't remember, but I was at the ground going, "Oh my god!" And that was the most boring. But again, a little bit because I remember speaking to Sean when we were talking, going, "What was the last result? I can't remember when you played us at home." And we both looked up, went the 0-0, and we both just started laughing because we both were like, "It was shocking." But that's not worth talking about. It's worth talking about again, Shinji, and that was a really nice send off. It wasn't a great performance in terms of what we got the job done. And they went round and gave us a clap, and that was the right send. And I think there was a picture afterwards of Danny Simpson kissing Shinji, and I remember that was his profile picture, I think, on Twitter for a while. And I thought that was just really nice.
Yeah, and I can imagine it being something similar if we are safe by that point against West Ham with Tillemans.
Yeah, and I'm hoping so as well. And I think as the rest of it, rest of the press conference wasn't really too much to talk about. The other one being Leicester being too good to go down. Again, it's never been the case. Again, he's right here. I think the better you are, there's no illusion of challenge. We know the qualities we have. I think he said recently he's come back and said that we're 40 points as well. We just got to try and get through these games. But the next two games especially, I'm not feeling confident for at all.
I'm not, because Palace are going to be up for it because they've got Roy.
Roy's done us so many times.
Yes, and I know, like, Roy Hodgson's a bit of a meme, but you can only be beaten by the same man so many times without being a bit worried. And also, they'll be looking for that balance. Patrick Vieira, I think it was the right decision to sack him. They're 3 months without a win. They didn't really look like they knew what they were doing. And as much as he'd progressed a lot of players, it had hit a brick wall, and there looked like there was going to be no change. And I believe you talked to Ali, didn't you? Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
Was he saying
Great
so?
guy.
Or what was he saying?
He goes, there's a problem as well with the squad. He goes, the squad wasn't good enough, but he goes, it's like any problem, it's a multifaceted problem, and it's not just as easy as saying, oh, it was Vieira, oh, it was this, oh, it was that. Vieira deserves his blame, and again, Ali goes into it, and you check out the channel after the video's done about that in detail, because that's the advantage of having a long form podcast as well. But he was it was a good. He said that it wasn't just a problem with Vieira. There's a problem with recruitment, problem with injuries, because the midfield was completely abolished as well. So it was quite interesting hearing him, but it wasn't just all on Vieira, as sometimes it can come out as.
And that's what I'd say with Leicester. I think that's what I was trying to say earlier as well with Leicester. Like, Brendan Rodgers, I think, needs to take a lot of responsibility for us, but a lot of the players also have not stepped up this season. But with Palace, what worries me, Zaha, like, absolute top draw player. I think Eze's got all the ability in the world. I'm not 100% sure about his attitude, if I'm honest. Elise, brilliant player. And then they've got the players that can really, really hurt you. But it just feels like it's got all of the recipes for something that's going to be a very difficult Saturday game. With Roy coming back, us picking up 1 point out of 18, and both teams needing 3 points. And then Leicester tweeted something ridiculously stupid earlier as well.
What was that? Sorry?
Leicester tweeting out about unbeaten in 8 against Palace or something like that. It's like, yeah, you could have done without tweeting that.
There's statistics that come out like that that just make you go, why have you done that?
Please just be quiet.
Yeah, just don't say anything. It's just not worth it. Talk about something else. It's not worth it. But pretty much that's us. That's us kind of wrapped up. I know it was a shorter one. There wasn't really a lot to talk about. But again, Brendan Rodgers was another one. Harry Souttar, I think, gets back into the team. But do you think that Fast pairs him? For some reason, against the Brentford game, I thought we were quite solid at the back with Daniel Amati in the team. I think that Souttar and Fast are almost too similar.
I do, but I still think Souttar and Fast are better than Amati. And Amati had a good game against Brentford, but I do think this kind of game. And I'm hoping a player like...
Sorry. It's nice. Thanks for bringing it up, but what are you doing?
Why tweet that? It never ends well when you tweet something like that. No. But FaZe, I'm hoping comes back really confident after getting a man of the match performance for Belgium. But I think he's like Siunchu. When he's playing with confidence, he's brilliant. When he's not, he's a liability.
And he needs that steady Eddie next to him. And I think that potentially, I think Johnny Evans' days are numbered. I think that certain other players are numbered as well. So it's getting that person in that's just going to go to the back and go, we've got this. We're more secure. And hopefully we'll get that in the summer, because there's going to be some good stuff there as well. A question: how many Leicester players could keep the manager? Yeah, not just in that, just in the Premier League in general. There hasn't been really any managers apart from us, and then Moyes would be another one, and maybe Steve Cooper.
Yeah, I think Moyes is what's keeping him in his job. If they weren't in the Conference League, I think he would be gone by now. I think the fact he's in the Conference League and doing quite well in that is keeping him in a job. And then with that lot down the road, it's sort of different ambitions when you're a newly promoted team, isn't it?
Yeah. It was just stay up, even though they did bring in a stupid amount of players, which again looks funny now. I won't say we have to do that extreme. We're going to do something similar this summer as well. It looks like, but I think our recruitment will be better.
I hate this, and I'm going to defend them here. They had to bring in players.
They had to, yeah. But we won't bring in that amount.
No, we won't. But 95% of their squad left last year. But we will be bringing in between, I would say, 7 to 10 players in the summer.
Yeah.
the thing is, it can't just be 7 to 10 players for the sake of it. It's got to be 7 to 10 players that improve us and either go straight into our first team or have the potential to come into our first team, not just players to fill in numbers.
Yeah, no, exactly. So we've got too many of those even at the moment that are like Ryan Bertrand, who's out of contract. And again, I completely forgot about looking at the 2023s and the amount of people that are out of contract. And also there'll be people in 2024 that are probably going to leave as well. So there's going to be a lot of turnaround. Hopefully this kind of fills you a little bit of confidence as well. And we went through this on your channel, Ant, when we looked through it, every single bottom six, the bottom relegation candidates as part of that as well.
Bottom 8, isn't it? It's mad, but it's 8 teams.
Yeah. So, and then one team I don't think we looked at, but Everton. I was just going over with again Scott, and he was going there. I said to him, "Who are your 3 to go down?" He goes Southampton. He went Bournemouth, and then he went Everton. And I looked at the lineup and I went, God, that is not
nice fixtures.
That is not nice at all. And then you've got the last couple of games against Wolves and Everton, but that is a tough run.
I still have that. I still think Dyche keeps them up.
What do you guys think in the comments?
Similar position to us, though, mate. 3 wins, get some that job done.
Yep, and that could be
as hard as Sean Dyche's teams work too hard, where they won't just pick up the odd point here or there. It's like even against teams that are better than them, like Arsenal, they picked up points purely because they worked 10 times harder than Arsenal did. Because Arsenal turned up to Goodison thinking they were too good and they were just going to run over Everton. And that's the thing with a Sean Dyche team. You need to match them with work rate, and there will be teams that don't.
Yes, I guess so. But I still think, again, I remember going through that on the street, but I think their running is hard.
It's a horrible running, but this sounds bad because we've got the best running on paper. I would still be more confident if I was an Everton fan.
Than us.
Than us.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Like Southampton, that's an easy 3 points, isn't it? Oh, they've done the double over us. Do you know what I mean? We've lost easy game on paper after easy game on paper, time and time again.
Yeah, right. We just don't make it easy for ourselves anytime.
No, so and Everton at least they're playing and at least they're giving it a real go. I don't think we are.
We're really not, and what's the worst thing? We all know that we're not giving us a good game, and that's the worst part about it. But that's pretty much everything. I mean, and plug away your channel because I know you've got some stuff coming out as well.
So Ant's Leicester fan channel got Palace preview out tomorrow. Hopefully having Ali on, who was on here yesterday. Also got
Which is live on the channel.
Do check it out. Leave a like whilst you're there, comment, all that good stuff. Enzo Lefebvre video as well coming out tomorrow. And then Palace matchday vlog on Saturday, Villa vlog on Wednesday, and then Bournemouth vlog on next Sunday, whenever we play Bournemouth.
Yeah.
So, but I've got a week off work next week, so I'm going to have a lot of content coming out. So do make sure to check out my channel.
Make sure to check it out. Yep. And then we'll be back for the after the Crystal Palace game. And we're doing a transfer after that. Again, if we will we do, because I'm not going to the away game, but make sure you leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Check out Ant's channel. We'll see you all in the next video. So goodbye.